Hey, I'm PianoBruce, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how the circle of fifths works. The circle of fifths is a tool that shows the relationship between the 12 notes of the chromatic scale, which is used in most instruments. On the piano you can see that we've got C, D, E, F, G, A, B as the natural notes, but we also have 5 sharp or flattened notes, which are C sharp, D sharp, F sharp, G sharp and A sharp. You can also call them D flat, E flat, G flat, A flat and B flat. Let's start by talking about how the circle is formed. The outer layer of the circle has capital letters because this refers to the major keys, and the inner layer has smaller letters to show that they are for the minor keys. The staves on the outside tell you how many sharps or flats each note has within its scale. As you can see, it clearly notates which one is sharpened and which one is flattened. So if I play E major, I've got an F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp and a D sharp. And I finish off with E. And that's how you play the scale. And if I was playing from the flats, you can see that B flat major would have a B flat, and then C, D, and then an E flat, F, G, A, B flat. Let's start with the major scales, starting with the top of the circle on C. The C major scale has no sharps or flats, so to play this scale, we're just going to play all the natural notes. Easy peasy. If we continue clockwise in the circle, we arrive at G, which is the fifth of C. If we numbered the keys, you can see C is 1, D is 2, 3, 4, and G would happen to be number 5. Hence, the circle of fifths. On the stave, we can see that G major has 1 sharp. This is F sharp. So to play in the scale of G major, we have to play each natural note until we get to F, and then we take it up to F sharp instead and finish with G, like this. From F, we go to F sharp and finish with G. Notice that the scale sounds the same as when we play C major in the way that the tones match up. So we have, and from G. Now I just want to explain how this works when you're travelling clockwise around the circle. So you'll see at first you're playing no sharps with C. But to figure out what sharp we're using on the next level, if we go to the fifth of C, which is G, and then we're going to play up G, we're going to count the notes and we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now we're going to sharpen the 7th, F sharp, and then G. The easiest way to see the 7th is it's the last note before you get to the note you started with. Let's just be aware of this as we press on. The next step from G is D. So D is the fifth of G. D has 2 sharps, but if you don't know how to read sheet music, you can figure it out this way, where we're going to use the same sharp as G, which was F sharp. So this time it's only going to be on the 3rd step. D, E, F sharp. And if we carry on counting, we go 4, 5, 6, and we're going to sharpen the 7th to C sharp, and then D. And let's apply this to the rest of the scales. For A major, which is the 5th of D, we're going to sharpen the 7th again, but we're going to use the sharps that we used in D, which was F sharp and C sharp. So we go A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, and we're going to sharpen the 7th, which is going to be a G sharp, and then A. And you can continue doing this until you reach the bottom of the circle. So you go E, and then B. And now this is where we get to a scale which has 6 sharps or 6 flats. As you can see at the bottom, the stave has written 6 sharps and 6 flats, because there is 2 ways to write this same scale. Let's just look at what the definition of a sharp is before we carry on. In musical notation, sharp means higher in pitch by 1 semitone, or half a step. Knowing this means that any note can be a sharp. Most notably, C can be called a B sharp, and F is an E sharp. When we play the F sharp major scale, we have to play F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, and now because we've already used F as an F sharp, we're going to change it to an E sharp, which E also happens to be the 7th of F. So we've sharpened the 7th like we do with the rest of the scales. And then we finish with F sharp. Each scale that we play, we want to use one version of each note that we play, from A to G. And to do this, we can do a series of things called accidentals, which alters the way that we play the note. For example, when we sharpen a note, we go C to C sharp and we take it up a semitone. But we can also do it the other way. So if I was to play B, I can flatten it to be... Flat is literally the opposite of sharp, where sharp we're going to be taking it up by half a step, and with a flat we're going to take it down half a step. Let's take it back to the top of the circle. Now we're travelling in fourths, so if I go from C, the fourth is going to be F. F major is going to have one flat. As we can see, this little sign looks like a B, is the sign for flat. Like we did with the clockwise pattern, where we added a sharpened 7th with each scale, this time we're going to flatten the 4th, which actually turns out to be the 7th of the previous scale. B, as you can see, is the 7th of C. So with F, we're going to flatten the 4th, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we jump to C, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where we have to pay attention to what notes we're playing, because next we're going to travel to B flat in the circle of fifths. So when we're on F, we go G, A, and the 4th step in F major is B flat. So this time we're going to jump to B flat when we do the 4th. And from here we're going to play the same notes as before, but we're going to add a flattened 4th. So 1, 2, 3, and we're going to play E flat, and then we're going to play F, G, A, and finish with B flat. Again, we can keep going until we reach the bottom of the circle with 6 flats. And we can do the same like we did before, because every note has a flat version of it. So B is going to be a C flat, and E is going to be an F flat. So to play G flat major, we're going to play G flat, A flat, B flat, and then we're going to play C flat, and then D flat, E flat, F, and G flat. Again, the idea is to try and use one version of each note. So we have a G, A, B, and now we have a C, or a C flat, as the accidental says. D, E, F, and G flat we finish with. And that's all there is to it. We can apply the same to minor scales, because minor scales are also part of the circle of fifths. If you look at the little letters of the circle of fifths, you can see that A is just underneath C, which means that A minor plays the same notes as C major. All of the natural notes. But there's also an easy way to find out the minor scale that's relative to the major scales. If you know all of the major scales, which is incredibly useful to memorize all of them, if we do C major, we go from C, we can take it down 3 half steps. So we go 1, 2, 3, and we arrive at A. A minor is the same as C major. If we did G major with 1 sharp, we can take it down 3 semitones from G to go 1, 2, 3 onto E. And from here we're going to play the same notes that we play in G major, but starting from E. So we're going to go E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E. The circle of fifths doesn't only explain how to build scales though. You can also use it to build chords. Look at this triangle that's been drawn onto the circle. We can see that the C major chord can be built with C, G, and E. You can make a triangle shape by simply taking 1 step clockwise from the note that you're on. So C goes to G, Then you can take 3 steps from there to make another one. We arrive at E. Draw points on each of these bits and then join them together with lines and you create a triangle. This shape can be moved anywhere on a circle to create the chord that you want. So E flat major would turn into this, and this one is B major. This can also be applied to minor chords. Instead, we're going to mirror the shape that we've drawn. So for A minor, we've got to use A, C, and E, and G minor, we have to use G, B flat, and D. And to find out the lead note of the minor chords, it's always the middle point of the triangle. And the major chords, it's always the first mark of the circle that we travel clockwise from to draw our triangular points. The circle of fifths has much more to it than just scales and chords. You can also see what scales are relative to each other. C's close relatives are G major and F major, because to get to G, you add 1 sharp, and to get to F, you only add 1 flat. These relative scales play the chords that are most relative, because if I play C, and then I jump to F, and then I jump to G, and then I can jump back to F, it sounds like the blues, right? I can take this anywhere I want by doing the same thing. If I did it from E, I'm going to go E, A, B, A. The circle of fifths is a great tool if you're trying to learn how to play any type of music in a certain scale, because it's going to tell you which sharps and which flats go with each key for their major scale or their minor scale. It's always good to memorize all the chords and the scales, because it's going to build the foundations of all the music that you play, not only on the piano, but every instrument. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe as I post weekly piano tutorials and piano covers in the midweek. I'll see you in the next video.